Chers libéraux, veuillez prendre place. Le programme est sur le point de commencer. Liberals, please take your seats. The program will begin shortly. Chers libéraux, veuillez prendre place. Le programme est sur le point de commencer. Liberals, please take your seats. The program will begin shortly.
Dans des moments comme celui-ci, nous devons être audacieux. Il faut tracer une nouvelle voie. Et il faut le faire ensemble.
Teach yourself as we're Halifax!
Look, a year ago, a lot of people had written us off.
Qui donne les conservateurs en avance entre 15 et 20 points, des fois 25 points. C'était stable.
Conservatives, 43%, big majority territory.
But because of you, because of the people in this room, we are stronger than ever.
Le prochain gouvernement sera formé par le Parti libéral.
The Liberal Party's Bruce Van Joy toppled the Conservative leader in that riding.
We are protecting our way of life, empowering Canadians, building Canada strong. Grâce à vous tous. Notre plus grand caucus québécois des 45 dernières années. Now, the largest women's caucus in our history, the largest. We have the largest BC caucus ever. We are going to build, baby, build. Canada needs more of this type of change. Change that puts more money in people's pockets. Change that builds the strongest economy in the G7.
Nous veillerons à ce qu'il soit fort, résilient et prêt à mener notre transition économique de la dépendance vers la résilience.
C'est le plan de construction de logement le plus ambitieux depuis la Deuxième Guerre mondiale. So let me ask you, who's ready? Pierre clap. Who's ready to stand up for Canada with me?
Bienvenue au Congrès national libéral de 2026, ici à Montréal. Welcome to the 2026 Liberal National Convention here in Montreal. Veuillez vous lever, si vous le pouvez, pour l'hymne national au Canada, chanté par le député libéral de Fredericton, Oromonto, David Miles.
O Canada, our home and native land, true patriot love in all of us command. Car ton bras s'est porté les pays, il s'est porté la croix. Ton histoire est une épopée des plus brillants exploits. God keep our land glorious and free. O Canada, we stand on guard for thee. O Canada, we stand on guard for thee.
Veuillez accueillir l'aîné Ganarsoan, qui prononcera la déclaration de reconnaissance territoriale. Please welcome Elder Ganarsoan to deliver the land acknowledgement.
Wegwezo wagwegu, agwegu watkunu radu, zinitsuga izwes, uamunis rade. Zinitsi dakkana raje, agwegu watsanuni, agwegu skana wada yugona tuniwe. Nono dasha dorete, ugodino jerzi tuniot, Kigo ostawa kawi, ne doana dunki tini stan huza. Ne jitinizi jadasso jimzade signora unisrade, se agwe yogot kon hajna hodi gotsta chat unisrage daniatana jodikte. Nona dasso tu gora, nahoda anagarunu, agwe gusaguna ne, tanizi rudiu taja. Tanu gonekari wanota chat unisrage, onaxida edwadin urado. Tanu sego tani dawayerha ne unisrade. Ne ariwa kawi gigo got naku. Welcome, everyone. Bonjour, tout le monde. What I just said in my language is I said that as I'm looking around right now, all of us have a smile on our face. We're all seemingly good mind, good health, good spirit. When we ask ourselves, why is that? This snapping turtle that I carry represents Mother Earth, my creation story, and Turtle Island. Now, from the beginning of time to today, all of us that are gathered here, all of our needs are being met. There is nothing lacking. When you look up, and for us, even that's extended family. We call that sun our elder brother, the moon is our grandmother, the thunder is our grandfathers. So as a result of that interplay between those upper forces and this lower world, here we are in this beautiful gift called life. And the only thing that we're supposed to have is an attitude of gratitude every day. And for us, you just heard this water drum. There's water in here because from water comes all the plants and the trees, and then this deer skin represents the animals. We're part of that animal kingdom. When we're born, we're given that sacred breath, and everything is held together by natural law. Now, that song that you just heard is a ceremonial song. In our culture, we talk about the three sisters, the corn, the beans, and the squash, and you just heard squash dance. And it ties us back to our Mother the Earth because she gives us all of this unconditional love that comes in the form of water, plants, deer, moose, caribou, fish, birds, forests, trees. When we look up, as I said, that's extended family. So we're all participating in this sacred dance. And if you don't believe me, you just have to look down at your chest, and what are you going to find? Your chest is expanding and contracting. Your heart muscle is expanding and contracting. The snow comes, the snow goes, the snow comes, the snow goes. That drumstick hit that skin, and that skin went up and down. So now, just even that drum, when you understand the teachings and the message that is in there, all of us, we are all sacred beings. You know, we talk about what happened in Kamloops, British Columbia. 215 kids' spirits resurrected up from the dead. Every child matters. Well, you know what? Every child who grows up to be an adult. Every adult matters. We are all spiritual beings having this human experience. We call that sun our elder brother for a reason, because he sets the path. We all come out of the earth. We're going to reach a midway point like me, because when I look in the mirror, I'm starting to set. My hair is turning gray. I don't have all of that strength. In a not too distant future, you know what's going to happen? I'm going back into the womb of my first mother, Mother Earth. But after my death, the next day, that sun resurrects up. And I'm resurrecting up in spirit, not in flesh. And when you understand that, it's going to change your relationship with this walking clay. It's going to change your relationship with one another. It's going to change your relationship about how you understand the Earth Mother. And it's going to change your relationship with the ancestor realm, because we're all going to be one in less than 100 years. So now, when you put that all together, the only reason why we are here, each and every one of us, it's to have an attitude of gratitude every day. I know some people, they say grace before they eat. That's beautiful. But we take it one step further. Not only do we talk about it, we sing. We sing all these sacred songs, dances, speeches, and rituals, and we humble ourselves to the Earth Mother. We humble ourselves to the thunder beings. We humble ourselves to Grandmother Moon, to the stars, and we say to all those things, you know what? Sacred elements never give up on us. Because if you ever turned your back on us, we'd be gone in a very short period of time. So all these things are gifts, and we have a responsibility to have that attitude of gratitude. And while we're here, each and every one of us have a responsibility. And you know what it is? It's this, that those faces that have not come out of the earth yet, that when they will be born, they will inherit a happy, safe, clean, beautiful, peaceful, loving home. And if you look at where we are today, we have so much work to do at so many levels. Look at the war, look at all of this stuff, because too many people have lost sight about why is it that you come here. It's not to make war, it's not to think that you're better than anybody else, because we're all equal here, we're all sacred in the sacred plan of the Great Spirit or the Great Mystery. And as I said, we only come here for this little short period of time. Yesterday's history, tomorrow's a mystery. All we have is the power of now to see what we could do to make it better. You know, the scientists that study all this, the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change, I just read recently the World Meteorological Organization, and they talked about what's happening. And we're in a sad state when we look at where we are. But you know what? Here's the hope. Here's, in spite of all of this, here's what the scientists say. They said that what is ever left of the indigenous spiritual wisdom and knowledge, that if we take it to heart and we truly listen to the voices of the indigenous people, then we can change the trajectory that we are on. And we can ensure then that those future generations coming can inherit a happy, safe, clean, beautiful, peaceful, loving home. That is our responsibility to them, and we can't let them down. So what I say is that, you know, Montreal, you're all gathered here in this great city, but you know what? In 1701, there was 29 indigenous nations met here, and we entered the Great Peace Treaty of 1701. The former mayor of Montreal, Cordair, what he did was he said, we're going to take some of the philosophy of the people of the five nations, Mohawk, Oneida, Onondaga, Cayuga, and Seneca, and we're going to put it in the flag of Montreal. But when you look at the flag of Montreal, you're going to see what looks like a pine tree. But for our people, this is the actual wampum belt that talks about the great tree of peace. Now, on top of that tree is an eagle, and it's a bald eagle. Why? Because it has a white head, and it talks about the ultimate good mind thinking that we're supposed to have. And then from that good mind, there are four roots that go out into the four directions, and it says any individual that if they have the right mind, they can follow those roots, and they could take shelter under the shade of this great tree. Now, where is that tree? Well, it talks about an evergreen tree, the eastern white pine, but the idea is it's a philosophy, it's a mindset, it's a way of being, because just like that, you could look in the mirror and be in conflict. I know, I used to be like that. I was in conflict with myself because I didn't really like this guy. I wasn't handsome enough, my legs were too skinny, all kind of different things that I used to be hard on myself. But all of us, when we look in the mirror every day, you gotta say to yourself, wow, I'm the most beautiful woman in this world. I'm the most handsomest man in the world, and believe it, because truly we are. This is just a vessel that gives our spirit the ability to express itself. So what I hope is that, again, that Montreal could be the shining city that we could resurrect up, and we could show the world what it means to be sitting underneath the great tree of peace, so we could bury these weapons of war, and the children will never be able to see that, so that we can sing and dance and be happy and be grateful for this great gift called life, because we're only here for a short period of time, and it's up to us, because as David Suzuki says, we're this last generation, it's up to us. It's in our hands what is going to be the final outcome. So welcome you all to this great, beautiful city. I hope that whatever what I shared made you feel good, and that you leave this wonderful city empowered with what we could do equally to make it better. Merci beaucoup. Thank you very much.
Chers libéraux, veuillez accueillir vos coprésidents du Congrès, la députée de Papineau, Marjorie Michel, le député de Winnipeg Sud, Terry Duguid, et le président du PLC, Sachit Mehra. Liberals, please welcome your convention co-chairs. Member of Parliament for Papineau, Marjorie Michel. Member of Parliament for Winnipeg South, Terry Duguid. And your LPC president, Sachit Mehra.
Terry, on est à Montréal aujourd'hui.
Oui, oui.
Alors, les libéraux, est-ce que ça va bien?
Marjorie.
Vous savez, on est tellement contents de se joindre à plus de 4500 personnes.
Marjorie, je suis tellement contente d'être ici, chez toi, à Montréal.
Wow!
And this time, a year ago, in 2025, we were in the middle of the campaign and the election, fighting to build Canada strong. How did that go? And because of all of you, Liberals from coast to coast to coast, Canadians rejected Pierre Poilievre's Conservatives and delivered Mark Carney a strong Liberal mandate for change. Je vous remercie de vos efforts continus, tout comme je vous remercie d'être venu cette fin de semaine.
That's right, Sachet. We have been hard at work since the last election, and this weekend is an opportunity for us to get together and chart the path forward. So let's get started.
Let's get started.
Alors, vous savez, il y a un an, j'ai eu le privilège d'être élu pour la première fois dans la circonscription de Papineau. Vous savez, Papineau, c'est une circonscription très diversifiée, mais aujourd'hui, je voudrais juste dire un petit mot sur celui qui m'a donné le privilège de représenter les citoyens. Alors, vous savez, il a été notre chef, il a été notre premier ministre, moi, il aura été mon patron, et il m'aura surtout fait le grand honneur et le grand cadeau de me demander de prendre la suite dans sa circonscription. Alors, pour donner le coup d'envoi à notre soirée, je vous invite de regarder une vidéo de l'ancien député de Papineau, notre ancien chef et notre ancien premier ministre, Justin Trudeau.
Bienvenue chez moi, mes chers amis. Comme vous allez avoir du fun à Montréal cette fin de semaine. Je ne peux pas être avec vous cette fois-ci, mais j'ai hâte de voir tout ce que vous allez accomplir ensemble. Not only is this one of the biggest gatherings ever in the history of the Liberal Party, the majority of you are at a convention for the very first time. Take it from me. Your first convention is in Montreal. You totally lucked out. Plus, the huge numbers of you from across the country are really important. The bigger, the more welcoming, the more diverse we are, the stronger we are. And Canada needs a strong and dynamic Liberal Party. On est le parti qui célèbre la diversité, qui défend la démocratie et qui fait place au changement pour le mieux. Le monde en a bien besoin en ce moment. Alors, cette fin de semaine, pendant que vous retrouvez de vieux amis et que vous vous en faites de nouveaux, vous avez aussi beaucoup de pain sur la planche. Car en tant que libéraux et en tant que Canadiennes et Canadiens, on a du travail à faire ensemble. The Liberal Party has always been ambitious for Canada and for Canadians, and in these complicated times, that's never been more important. And our global leadership has rarely mattered more, so keep thinking big. I am really excited to see what you can all accomplish under Mark's leadership this weekend and for the years to come. But remember, the Canada we've built together didn't happen by accident and won't continue without effort. It takes hope and hard work, but we're Liberals. We got this. Bonne fin de semaine, mes chers amis, et à la prochaine.
Merci, merci, Justin. Thank you, Justin. And now, please welcome to the stage our colleague, our friend, Joël Lightbound, the MP for Louis-Hébert. Joël.
Bonsoir tout le monde. Wow! Quel plaisir de vous voir en si grand nombre ici au Québec, ici à Montréal. C'est un plaisir de vous recevoir pour cette convention historique. And to our friends from across the country who made the trip to be here with us today, I want to thank you for joining us in Montreal. I'll say this, I'm a member of parliament from Quebec City, so to me, Quebec City is the most beautiful city in the country. But Montreal is my second favorite city. And I have the honor tonight of presenting the mayor of Montreal, and she is my favorite mayor of Montreal, albeit the only one, but my favorite nonetheless. All jokes aside, c'est une ancienne collègue, c'est une amie qu'on a eu la chance d'avoir avec nous en politique fédérale, qui a servi fièrement les citoyens d'Hochelaga pendant plus de 6 ans, qui a servi au cabinet également en étant tout le temps une voix forte pour le Québec et qui maintenant, comme mairesse de Montréal depuis novembre 2025, a déjà laissé sa marque par son humanisme, son pragmatisme et qui, bon an, mal an, a su tailler déjà sa place dans le cœur des Montréalais et des Montréalaises. C'est un honneur et un privilège pour moi de vous présenter mon amie, la mairesse de Montréal, Soraya Martinez-Ferrada. Merci beaucoup tout le monde. Bonne soirée.
Bonjour tout le monde. Ben là, franchement, là, vous venez de commencer. Voilà, merci. Seigneur, let's go. Ouais. Bienvenue à Montréal. Vous savez, c'est vraiment très spécial pour moi, comme Joël le disait, mesdames et messieurs, tout le monde, chers membres du parti, membres du cabinet, le premier ministre, merci de m'avoir invité. C'est sûr que pour moi, c'est spécial parce que, comme vous le savez, j'ai quitté cette famille politique il y a maintenant 1 an, pas parce que je vous aimais pas, hein. Je vous aimais vraiment beaucoup, mais parce que aujourd'hui, je vous accueille dans ma ville comme mairesse parce que j'ai fait un choix de revenir à Montréal parce que je crois profondément à une chose, c'est que le changement, il se construit là où les gens y vivent. Et aujourd'hui, s'il y a 3 choses que je veux vous retenir, c'est les suivantes. Montréal est essentiel à la réussite du Canada. Les défis urbains sont aussi les défis du pays. Le fédéral doit être un partenaire direct des grandes villes. Montréal est unique. Puis oui, on aime beaucoup la ville de Québec, comme Joël le disait tout à l'heure. Puis vous aimez tous votre ville, j'en suis convaincue. Mais Montréal est unique, Montréal est exceptionnel. Montréal est une ville de diversité, d'accueil. Montréal est une ville de création, d'innovation, une ville qui rassemble. C'est la métropole francophone des Amériques. Et c'est pour ça que Montréal incarne si bien le Canada. Quand on parle du Canada, on parle d'un grand pays, d'immenses territoires, mais c'est aussi nos villes où l'avenir se construit. Est-ce que... puis les défis, vous le savez, c'est là qu'on les voit aussi. Le logement, la mobilité, la sécurité, l'itinérance. Tout converge vers nos villes et c'est là aussi que les solutions, il faut qu'ils prennent forme. Est-ce que vous saviez que 60% de la population du Canada habite dans les 10 plus grandes métropoles? 60%. Ça veut dire qu'un Canadien sur 3 vit à Montréal, Toronto, Vancouver. Et 2 Canadiens sur 3 vivent dans les plus grandes métropoles du pays. Donc, le Canada est bâti sur ces villes. Montréal, oui, c'est un grand pôle d'intelligence artificielle. Mila, Skill AI. Encore ce matin, j'étais à Hypertech, une entreprise montréalaise qui conçoit et fabrique des infrastructures critiques pour l'intelligence artificielle. Montréal est le chef de file canadien en aérospatial, un écosystème reconnu de recherche et d'innovation, une métropole culturelle qui rayonne partout dans la ville, partout dans le monde, une ville francophone, mais qui a aussi une population anglophone importante. An anglophone community that also builds and build this city. Et, vous le savez, peut-être pas, mais Montréal est la 2e plus grande ville universitaire et du savoir en Amérique du Nord. Après qui? Boston. Une plaque tournante, le port de Montréal, le réseau ferroviaire et j'en passe. Montréal fait avancer le Canada. Les villes sont aujourd'hui en première ligne. C'est dans nos rues que les politiques y prennent vie, c'est dans nos quartiers que les décisions deviennent concrètes, c'est les citoyens qui jugent de nos résultats à tous les jours. Let me tell you, I know, because if you come to Montreal today, we have something that we call potholes. So let me tell you that they know. Aujourd'hui, les défis locaux sont des défis nationaux. Today, local challenges are national challenges. L'avenir du Canada passe par ces grandes villes. Les défis sont immenses. Did you know that 60% of our infrastructure and public infrastructure in Quebec are under the responsibility of municipalities? 60% of its infrastructure. So how can we think that we're going to build over a foundation that when the foundation is cracking? Si la fondation de ta maison n'est pas solide, comment on va construire dessus? La Fédération canadienne des municipalités le crie clairement, les investissements publics ne suivent pas les besoins. Montréal a une pression importante, un déficit de maintien d'actifs d'infrastructure, but every single city in this country has a deficit in maintaining their infrastructure. And we need you to say it out loud to your governments, to your federal government. Parce qu'on ne peut pas continuer à dépendre uniquement du foncier, of your taxes. We need to build this country together in the cities. Si on est des vrais partenaires, on va être capable de retrouver des solutions à l'itinérance, trouver des solutions au transport. On doit aussi se rappeler, parce que oui, we can invest a lot of money. And I know that this government and your government has financed a lot of things. And we have many challenges coming to us. Nous avons beaucoup de défis. On doit investir dans les infrastructures, absolument. Et on doit aussi se rappeler qu'il y a des gens qui dorment dans la rue. Et on doit aussi s'assurer que chacune de ces personnes trouve un toit. Housing first. All in on infrastructure, all in on taking care of our people, prendre soin de nos gens. We need to do both. Pour réussir une chose essentielle, ça va prendre quoi? Partnership, partenariat, fédéral, les grandes villes. We're allies. You know what we love here in Montreal? Hockey. And you chose to be here and not at the hockey game tonight. So a lot of people are saying, yeah, I chose to be here too instead of the hockey game. Mais ça nous prend une équipe. Et une équipe, c'est les trois paliers de gouvernement, la société civile, la société des affaires, because we all want the same thing. A prosperity that's inclusive, that's strong, that it will take everybody into account. So we need to be agile, on doit être des programmes agiles, décisions rapides. Pour qu'un partenariat fonctionne, il faut qu'on se parle. We have to talk to each other. Ce n'est pas d'opposer les villes aux régions, c'est reconnaître que l'économie canadienne se construit ensemble. Cities and rural regions, all together. And I want to thank the government for the engagement on homelessness. Le soutien du gouvernement fédéral qui nous a été accordé la semaine passée, suite à des appels que nous avons faits, vous avez reconduit le financement et vous avez concrètement sauvé des vies parce que vous avez fait ça et on vous en remercie. Le Canada a toujours été à son meilleur quand il travaille avec ses villes. So work with us. Work with all the big cities of this country because we can make great things together. Montréal est la seule ville. Bon, je vais faire une petite annonce spéciale. Vous savez qu'il y a une grande compétition actuellement entre les villes canadiennes. I'm going to tell you Montreal's the best, but we have something in Montreal that nobody has in this country. we can build a plane from A to Z. The ecosystem of this city, l'écosystème aérospatial, de l'intelligence artificielle, de la défense, we already have that ecosystem in Montreal. So I'm just saying, because there's a thing called Bank of Defense that I think can come, because the only address that has what it takes, it's Montreal. La seule adresse pour l'écosystème, c'est Montréal. Alors, Montreal's ready. We want to do our part. Nous avons contribué à relever les défis avec vous. Travailler en équipe, être un partenaire. Montréal veut être au rendez-vous parce qu'investir à Montréal, comme investir dans toutes les grandes villes de ce pays, c'est investir dans ce pays qui est le Canada. Alors, parce que vous allez investir au Canada et parce que vous allez investir dans les grandes villes, que nous allons avoir de la prospérité qui est inclusive et qui est inclusive pour tous. Merci beaucoup, merci mes amis et bon congrès.
Veuillez accueillir le député de Hull-Aylmer, Greg Fergus. Please welcome the Member of Parliament for Hull-Aylmer, Greg Fergus.
Bonsoir Montréal, bonsoir Canada. Ça va bien? It's amazing to see so many people here. Moi, je me souviens, mon premier congrès en 1990. C'était quelque chose, il faisait longtemps. But the things that I loved about being a convention is that you meet old friends and you make new ones. And I'd like to introduce to you three very special people, three people who are going to make a real big difference starting on Monday night. Mesdames et messieurs, j'aimerais vous présenter nos trois candidates libérales. Tout d'abord, Dolly Begum from Scarborough Southwest, Dr. Danielle Martin from University Rosedale, et ma très, très chère sœur, Madame Tatiana Auguste de Terrebonne.
Well, bonsoir, Montréal. Good evening, Liberals. What a room. Wow. There are moments in a country's life when you can feel the future gathering force. Not in headlines or social media feeds, not in slogans, but in rooms like this, full of purpose, full of possibility, and may I say also very full of people. I'm Danielle Martin, your Liberal candidate in University Rosedale. Je suis médecin. Je défends la santé publique depuis longtemps et je crois en une valeur canadienne fondamentale, que nous prenons soin les uns des autres. Because in this country, care is not a burden to be cut back. It is our calling and it is our strength. Bonsoir tout le monde. Hello, Liberal friends. I'm Dolly Begum, your Liberal candidate for Scarborough Southwest. I know what it means to grow up in a country with hope, to build, step by step, year after year, a life of dignity and hard work. I've represented Scarborough Southwest in the provincial parliament for nearly 8 years, and in Scarborough, strength isn't abstract. It is the neighbor who shows up to help. It is the worker who keeps going and going to build a future for their loved ones. It's the family that builds together across generations. We show up for one another. I believe, and Mark Carney believes, that looking out for all is how we build a strong nation.
Bonsoir Montréal! Quel honneur d'être avec vous. Je m'appelle Tatiana Auguste et je suis la candidate libérale dans Terrebonne. Et je crois profondément qu'un pays ne devient pas fort par accident, il devient fort par choix. Le choix de rassembler, le choix de construire, le choix d'avancer ensemble. Au Québec, on le dit clairement, bâtir un Québec fort et un Canada fort. On bâtit ensemble et c'est ce qui nous rend plus forts.
So what does it mean now, at this moment, to build Canada strong? It means renewing the promise that defines us as Liberals and as Canadians, that no matter who you are, or where you live, or what this increasingly divided and dangerous world throws at us, this country will be here for you. In our healthcare, avec notre engagement envers les générations futures, in the public services and diverse communities that hold us up in times of need. That means choosing seriousness over slogans. It means choosing progress over fear, and it means choosing purpose over politics. This is why, that's right. This is why we stand together, and this is why we stand with Mark Carney.
Folks, because building Canada strong is not only about what we grow, it's about who we grow it with and who we grow it for. An economy that includes all, a future that invites all, a country that brings all people forward and leaves no one behind. And how we build matters, and the workers we build with matter just as much.
Les personnes avec qui nous bâtissons comptent et ce qu'on bâtit nous définit. Alors on avance plus fort, plus unis, plus ambitieux. In University of Rosedale, in care and strength. In Scarborough Southwest, people show up for each other. Et à Terrebonne, nous construisons l'avenir ensemble. And at this important moment for our country, we are all ready to build Canada strong. Et maintenant, Montréal, veuillez vous joindre à moi pour accueillir le président réélu du Parti libéral du Canada et mon ami Sachit Meha.
Bonjour tout le monde. Bonjour Montréal. How are you all doing tonight? Let me ask that one more different way. How is the largest gathering of liberals in history doing tonight? Bienvenue à Montréal et bienvenue à votre congrès national de 2026, un congrès qui bat tous les records. Plus de 4500 personnes de partout du pays sont réunies ici ce soir. Et je suis ravi de faire partie de ce moment avec vous tous, de voir cette salle remplie, pleine d'énergie et unie. Pour plus de la moitié d'entre vous, il s'agit de votre premier congrès libéral. I joined the Liberal Party at 15 years old, and I still remember what it felt like to step into my very first convention. A kid from Winnipeg, I got involved and found a home in this party. Now, I've knocked on every door in my riding more times than I can count, just like so many of you in this room. Because this party, our party, is built by people who believe in something bigger than ourselves. Being here is your choice to build Canada and not just watch. J'aimerais donc d'abord vous dire merci. Tous nos accomplissements sont les fruits du travail qu'on fait ensemble. Que nous avons accompli est vraiment extraordinaire. So to stop, on behalf of the National Board of Directors, on behalf of the Office of the President of the Liberal Party of Canada, thank you to all our volunteers and supporters. Et un moment décisif pour notre parti et pour notre pays, Mark Carney a été élu pour nous guider vers ce nouveau chapitre. Over 300,000 new registered Liberals joined us through our leadership race, and we carried that momentum right into a winning national campaign. $11 million knocks and calls, tens of thousands of new volunteers stepping up, and over 100 rallies from coast to coast to coast. Together, Mark Carney and our Liberal team earned over 8.6 million votes, the most votes of any party in Canadian history. Votre appui est au cœur de notre réussite. L'année dernière, notre parti a connu la meilleure année dans son histoire en matière de financement. That is the best fundraising year in our party's history. And I'm so happy to say, thanks to you, we fully repaid our 2025 campaign debt. Our party has never been in a stronger financial position. Thank you. As I've traveled this country, I feel lucky for every connection that I've made, meeting you in your communities. Liberals, volunteers, members, candidates, you have inspired me to keep working hard. After decades in this party, I'm immensely proud of what we have accomplished together. Our inclusive, innovative, and compassionate party is capable of anything. And as president, I can't wait to see what we do next. Are you with me? Dans un monde marqué par une grande incertitude, les gens comptent sur Mark Carney et notre Parti libéral pour relever les défis de l'heure et bâtir un avenir plus fort. C'est pour cela que des moments comme celui-ci sont si importants. Nous avons une équipe solide, un plan sérieux et un mandat clair. Mais notre travail ne s'arrête pas là. Pierre Poilievre has opposed our plan and our progress. He's been a politician for over 20 years, and he's not going to change. So it's up to us, the people in this room, across our party, to keep knocking on doors, making those calls, and showing up to these events. When Liberals are called upon at historic moments to deliver for Canadians, we step up. We come together. Thinking back to my first conventions, sitting in a policy session, realizing that ordinary people, everyday people, people like me, people like you, could help shape our party and our country. It was a powerful feeling, and it stayed with me. Alors, que ce soit votre premier congrès ou votre 10e, vous faites partie de notre histoire maintenant, et nous continuerons de la créer ensemble. Together. Merci. Now, please join me in welcoming Evan Solomon.
Merci, Sachit. Bonsoir tout le monde. C'est un grand plaisir d'être ici au Montréal. Can we give another hand for our president who has built this party the strongest it's ever been? Well done. We can't do it without you. You know, we talk a lot about building this country together. We talk a lot about bâtir ensemble. We talk a lot about unifying this country. But you really have to do it. You have to show it, one person at a time. And to do that, you've genuinely got to welcome people into our great party, into our tent, into this mission to build together. And that is why I know we will give the warmest bienvenue, the warmest welcome to our newest team member who wants to join and fight and be on our mission together. A warm welcome, please, for Marilyn Gladoo.
Bonsoir Montréal et bonsoir chers libéraux. Je suis tellement heureuse d'être ici avec vous à Montréal en ce moment crucial pour notre pays. Good evening all. It's a critical moment for Canada. We have challenges, but we have opportunities to build a stronger country than anyone can take away from us. I've watched the Prime Minister and all the things he's doing since he's been elected, the things he's driving forward, fast-tracking, building, nation-building projects, diversifying our trade, strengthening our defense, combating crime, and building more homes. These are the priorities that meet this moment for our country. These are the priorities that my constituents want, that Canadians share, and that the Mark Carney Liberal team is delivering on. This is a moment for us to unite as Canadians, to do the work to build the nation in response to unjustified U.S. tariffs. That takes serious leadership and a credible plan. And I know that Prime Minister Mark Carney brings both. And I'm ready to put my talents and experience towards the task as your newest Liberal MP. This is how we will succeed together, whether it's loggers in British Columbia, oil and gas workers in Alberta, canola oil farmers in Saskatchewan, or petrochemical workers in my own riding of Sarnia-Lambton-Bequejewanong. Everyone is counting on real leadership and a real plan to build our economy strong. That's what we're here to deliver. For those of you who don't know me, I left a career as a chemical engineer, working globally in hundreds of facilities in over 30 countries in sectors like automotive, plastics, building and construction, pharmaceuticals, nuclear, mining, petrochemicals, and renewable energy. I came to serve this country. I was the first female engineer in the House of Commons when I was elected in 2015, and I'm so glad to see more join. Shout out to Seema Akan. En tant que parlementaire d'expérience, j'ai été élue à 4 reprises et je fais partie de moins de 50 députés à avoir fait adopter 2 projets de loi d'initiative parlementaire. L'un visant à offrir les soins palliatifs uniformes partout au Canada et l'autre visant à protéger les pensions des travailleurs canadiens en cas de faillite d'une entreprise. Ces mesures contribuent à bâtir un pays où nous veillons les uns sur les autres. I know how to look past the usual politics to step up for the constituents who elected me as part of this strong new team in government. We have a prime minister who has demonstrated his global experience and his proven ability to negotiate, prioritize, and mobilize. He's building a big tent coalition with Canadians who want to step up and build a stronger, more independent, more competitive economy. I look forward to serving on this team at this pivotal time for this bright future. Merci beaucoup, Montréal, miigwech, and thanks to all of you.
Veuillez accueillir la députée d'Outremont, Rachel Bendayan. Please welcome the Member of Parliament for Outremont, Rachel Bendayan.
Bonsoir tout le monde, bienvenue à Montréal. Je m'appelle Rachel Bendayan, je suis la très fière députée d'Outremont, pas très loin d'ici. I also have the privilege of serving as Parliamentary Secretary to Prime Minister Mark Carney. It is my pleasure to welcome you to the 2025 Liberal National Convention. Quel plaisir! Oh my God, it's 2026. C'est une belle énergie dans la salle. Je vous entends, je vous écoute, puis c'est un bonheur de vous accueillir dans ma belle ville natale, la plus belle ville du Canada, je dois le dire selon moi. It's also the most fun city in the country. If you guys haven't been out on the town yet, fasten your seatbelts, ladies and gentlemen. Montreal has got incredible nightlife any day of the week. And in particular, during convention, there are countless events being organized on the margins. Entre autres, vous êtes invité à un cocktail au bar Le Mal Nécessaire ce soir, a great bar, a shameless plug for my own event tonight. You're all invited. Un merci très rapide aux interprètes. Je sais que je fais pas mal d'aller-retour entre le français et l'anglais, but really, there is nothing more Montreal liberal than excessive language switching. Now, let's get a little bit more serious. Whether this is your first convention or your fifth, whether you're a young liberal or a long-time Laurier Club member, there will be something about this convention that you won't ever forget, something truly historic, because we are living through truly historic times. I won't recap the headlines for you. They change by the minute anyway. And besides, I don't seem to have access to Truth Social from this stage. That's, by the way, that's a feature, that's not a bug. But the reality is that we are all part of something much bigger than ourselves. And we're shaping it together. On n'est pas juste témoin d'un moment historique. On est en train de le vivre et surtout de le bâtir. Chacun d'entre nous a un rôle à jouer et on est chanceux d'avoir la bonne personne pour nous guider. J'ai le privilège de travailler directement avec le Premier ministre et je vois à tous les jours comment sa vision claire, forte, déterminée façonne chacune de ses décisions. As Prime Minister Carney has said, and this room will know the quote well, we are in the midst of a rupture. We know that the old order is not coming back, but we believe that from fracture, we can build something better, stronger, and more just. And that's where our next speaker comes in. In the Liberal lobby and in these Liberal hallways, we know him as the Energizer Bunny. The country, the rest of the country, though, they know him as our Minister of Finance. He has been handed a daunting task, spearheading new generational investments on a massive scale while cutting existing spending just as dramatically. In the short time since he has been at the helm of our books, our country invested $63 billion, or 2% of GDP, to strengthen our national security and our sovereignty. At the same exact time, we're reducing day-to-day operational spending by $60 billion, all while protecting our social safety net and even strengthening financial supports for the Canadians that need them most. Il y a plusieurs années de ça, j'étais avec François-Philippe en Gaspésie. Je n'avais pas encore eu la chance de passer beaucoup de temps là-bas et je voulais me promener un peu. François-Philippe est toujours partant pour se promener et rencontrer du vrai monde. Ça nous a pris, sans blague, ça nous a pris à peu près 45 minutes pour marcher 2 blocs. À chaque fois qu'on voyait quelqu'un sur le trottoir ou sur les bancs publics, François-Philippe s'arrêtait, dire bonjour. Souvent, les gens le reconnaissaient, mais peu importe, à chaque fois, François-Philippe disait « Moi, je vous reconnais, je travaille pour vous. » My friends, it gives me great pleasure to introduce someone for whom the glass is always half full, for whom there is always a reason to smile. If he is up in QP, you can count on him to deliver more good news and also to make it very, very clear that he will take no lessons from these conservatives. Mesdames et messieurs, c'est un honneur pour moi de vous présenter le député de Shawinigan, une terre de grands noms, et il est certainement à la hauteur, celui qui a fait le tour du cabinet, qui est aujourd'hui notre ministre des Finances du Canada. Accueillons chaleureusement François-Philippe Champagne.
Wow! Bonsoir Montréal! Vous allez bien? Est-ce qu'il y a des libéraux dans la salle? Est-ce qu'il y a des jeunes libéraux dans la salle? Are you ready to build Canada strong? Well, my friends, you're at the right place and the right time because we are starting. We're going to build this country like never before. A big round of applause for Rachel, who's done an amazing job. My dear friends, it's so nice to see so many of you. This is our biggest convention, I'm told, in our history. And I think we live in very special moments. With all the current events that we're seeing around the world, it is clear that the world we live in is not just uncertain, but is becoming increasingly volatile, more competitive, and more complex. The speed and scope and scale of change that we are witnessing from one end of our nation to the other end is unprecedented. Et je suis convaincu, mes chers amis, que vous l'avez ressenti. Vous l'avez ressenti à l'épicerie. Vous l'avez ressenti à la station-service. Vous l'avez ressenti quand vient le temps de payer votre loyer. Vous l'avez ressenti dans vos entreprises, dans vos communautés et au sein de votre famille. You have seen how global shocks, unprecedented global shocks, don't stay global anymore, but they translate quickly into our daily realities. The good news is that we've been there for people always because we are liberals. In times like that, you need people with strong value. You need people with a strong vision. You need a committed team to make sure that we're going to build this country like never before. Mais rappelons-nous de ce que l'on a fait pour rendre le coût de la vie plus abordable. Parce que l'abordabilité, c'est l'enjeu de notre moment. C'est l'enjeu pour l'ensemble des familles, pour les gens qui sont ici, mais les gens qui nous regardent à la maison. La première chose qu'on a fait avec le premier ministre Carney, on a baissé l'impôt pour plus de 22 millions de Canadiens et Canadiennes à travers le pays. Oui, monsieur. La toute première chose qu'on a fait. On a aidé les travailleurs qui ont été affectés par les tarifs. On a bonifié l'aide financière aux étudiants. On a réduit les coûts pour les familles. Et grâce à nos actions, chers amis, les parents ont désormais accès à des services de garde plus abordables. Et chaque année, jusqu'à 400 000 enfants dans notre pays bénéficient du programme national alimentaire scolaire qui est maintenant devenu permanent sous le gouvernement du premier ministre Carney. That is something we should all be very, very proud. Ces programmes s'inscrivent dans la grande tradition libérale, celle de mettre les gens au cœur de nos actions chaque jour et toujours. My dear friends, when times are tough, we help each other because we are Canadians. And in a world like this, what we do at home is only part of the story. You will recall in Davos, my dear friend, the Prime Minister reminded the world and reminded each and every Canadian that if you are not on the table, you're going to be on the menu. That is a metaphor that still resonates around the world, and I can testify. When you have world leaders around the world which are quoting the speech of our Prime Minister, I can assure you, whether you are watching at home or you are in the room with him, your heart, your mind, and your soul is filled with joy and pride. This is our Prime Minister today, bringing pride to this country. We are proud to be Canadians. We are proud of our nation. We are proud of our Prime Minister. Because, my dear friend, this is the world we live in. A world where decisions are made quickly, where alliances matter, and where countries that hesitate fall behind. In time like this, Canada must lead. Canadians must lead. Liberals must lead. That's why we're here for the next 3 days, ladies and gentlemen, because we need to bring ideas. We need to lead this country in this moment, so that together we can build the strength. I was about to say, Mr. Speaker. You can remove the guy from QP. You know, I was about to say Mr. Speaker, but, you know, this is, I'm not out of practice, trust me. I look forward to see you on Monday, by the way, guys. So, where we were, so that together we can build on the strength of our values and the value of our strength, like the Prime Minister said, because we are liberals and our values are strong and Canadian values resonate around the world. They make the world looks at what we do in this country. We inspire the world again, and we should all be very, very proud. Just 1 year ago, when he first stood before Canadians, the Prime Minister mentioned that this country would meet the moment, that we would move at speed and scale not seen in generations, that we would build, protect, and empower Canadians. Well, my friends, I have good news, because I'm happy to report that to all the Liberals that are here tonight and to Canadians that are watching at home, that's exactly what we have done. We're building this country like never before. I hope you feel it in your heart. I hope you feel it in your communities. I hope you feel it in every part of the country. Ce soir, on ne peut pas seulement parler des défis auxquels on fait face ou de notre plan pour bâtir, protéger et renforcer le Canada. Ce soir, on est aussi ici pour célébrer qui nous sommes en tant que Canadiens. On est ici pour célébrer le Canada, un Canada fort, un Canada inclusif, un Canada ambitieux. On est ici pour célébrer une équipe qui grandit de semaine en semaine, je dirais même de jour en jour. Il va peut-être falloir que je change mon discours, because we're adding people by the day these days, so I may have to change, you know. We have a team that is more united than ever. People won't join the Liberal team because they know that we're going to build this place like never before. Parce que dans un monde plus divisé, dans un monde plus compétitif et dans un monde plus incertain, le Canada s'élève. And that doesn't happen by accident, my friends. That happens because we have a prime minister with a vision to build the strongest economy in the G7, a vision to double our overseas trade, a vision to enable $1 trillion of investment. And that vision is something every single person in this room has helped us build, and you should be very proud of the work that you have done, because we have been inspired by you, you have inspired us, and now we're delivering together for Canadians. Le Canada inspire parce que le Canada a ce dont le monde a besoin. Le Canada va de l'avant là où d'autres hésitent ou reculent. Le Canada prouve que l'on peut être à la fois compétitif et compatissant, que l'on peut faire croître notre économie tout en protégeant les gens et notre environnement, que l'on peut agir avec détermination tout en restant fidèle à nos valeurs. Il y a un an, chers amis, le premier ministre nous parlait du pays que nous pouvions bâtir ensemble. Un pays confiant, un pays engagé, un pays qui prend les devants. Et un an plus tard, regardez le chemin parcouru et imaginez la suite. But my dear friends, we are not done. We are not done. Because the world is not slowing down, because competition is not easing, because the challenges ahead are real and they are serious. Et c'est pourquoi notre travail, votre travail, compte énormément durant les prochains jours. C'est pourquoi être libéral demeure important aujourd'hui pour faire avancer notre pays. My dear friend, more than a century ago, Wilfrid Laurier said something. Some of you may remember. The 20th century shall be the century of Canada. Well, my friend, it feels like the 21st century belongs to Canada. And I can feel the energy tonight. The 21st century belongs to Canada. Do we agree with that? Yes. Let's inspire the world. Let's make sure that every community is inspired. Let's make sure that we do the work together. Think about it. Just a few days ago, my friend, a proud Canadian astronaut and a dear friend, if he was here, I'd like to give him a big hug. Jeremy Hansen took humanity further than we have never been before. He went around the moon, ladies and gentlemen. This is Canada. There is no ceiling for Canadians. So let us be inspired by his journey. Let us be inspired by his ambition. Let us be inspired by his courage and think about the things we can build together. My dear friends, the sky is no longer the limit for Canada. We have seen it. We have seen it. When we are united, when we have high ambition, when we work together as one nation, nothing can stop Canada. You know it, I know it, the world knows it. So tonight, my friend, and they gave me only 5 minutes, so they probably are wondering if I already started my speech or I'm almost finished. But my friend, it's with passion and emotion that I talk to you. So tonight, let's take a moment to celebrate what we have accomplished together. But also, let's be ready. Let's be ready for the next chapter. Let's be ready for the next challenge. Let's be ready to keep building Canada strong together. Because we all believe in Canada. Vive le Canada, mes amis! Bon Congrès! Bon Congrès, tout le monde! Thank you very much. Thank you. Let's build Canada strong together. Let's build Canada strong together. Let's build this country together. Merci tout le monde. Bonne soirée.
Veuillez accueillir la députée de Toronto St. Paul's, Leslie Church. Please welcome the Member of Parliament for Toronto St. Paul's, Leslie Church.
Hey. Good evening, Liberals. Bonsoir à tous et bienvenue à Montréal. C'est un immense plaisir pour moi de vous présenter notre prochain invité. Depuis plus de 40 ans, il est une source d'inspiration au Canada et dans le monde entier. He is one of the most well-known and beloved Canadians and one of Canada's most respected voices in accessibility and disability inclusion. He's also got a killer theme song. As a young athlete and 6-time Paralympian, Rick Hansen had a vision to show the world that anything is possible. On March 21st, 1985, Rick embarked on the Man in Motion World Tour, wheeling an astounding 40,000 kilometers through 34 countries and across 4 continents to create awareness of the potential of people with disabilities and raise funds to remove barriers. His journey sparked a shift in how the world views disability, advancing accessibility, and empowering generations to see potential instead of limitation. Aujourd'hui, grâce à son travail au sein de la Fondation Rick Hansen, il continue d'inspirer des changements concrets et de donner un élan à un mouvement mondial visant à éliminer les obstacles à l'inclusion de personnes handicapées. Those barriers, as I've learned from Rick, can begin with our physical surroundings, our infrastructure, our transportation, our workplaces, our housing. But they certainly don't end there. Rick and his foundation are currently celebrating the 40th anniversary of the Man in Motion World Tour. This milestone celebrates the incredible progress Canadians have made towards disability inclusion and accessibility while recognizing how far we still have yet to go. But now, back to that song. Written by Canada's own David Foster and his colleague John Parr, who were inspired by Rick and his legendary tour, St. Elmo's Fire, Man in Motion, hit #1 on the charts and has become an instantly recognizable anthem for perseverance and empowerment. So, ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming a companion of the Order of Canada, a Canadian hero, my good friend, the one and only Man in Motion, Rick Hansen.
Wow. Thank you. Such an honor. Really appreciate it. Wow. Bonjour à tout le monde. C'est un grand honneur pour moi. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. What an incredible honor for me to be able to be here, to be able to see the incredible energy and the enthusiasm of this great country. Each and every one of you are passionate. You want to make a difference. You're doing your part in your local communities, here in your regions and in your country, and indeed around the world. For me, I'm sitting here on the backs of so many incredible, great Canadians. I appreciate your vision for a healthy and inclusive country powered by a strong economy where people can unleash their talent and their ability and keep innovating to be able to show what Canada has. An incredibly diverse country that is absolutely unleashed by the strength and the bridges to inclusivity. The dream of Canada is also about so many people with disabilities who actually have a chance to be a part of this society. Not just a part, but contribute. And I want to pay tribute to so many people in this room and the thousands across the country, individuals who living with challenge, who show ability, organizations that constantly work day in and day out, all to try to improve this country and to be able to make it possible for people to reach their full potential. Now, of course, I was like many Canadians as a young 15-year-old, filled with the biases about what disability meant. And then one day I was hitchhiking home from a fishing trip, got a ride in the back of a pickup truck. And that truck crashed, rolled over, broke my back, and damaged my spinal cord. And I was told I would never walk again. You can imagine in the heart of a 15-year-old how that landed in me and my world. Because I had no view of what it was like to have a spinal cord injury. I couldn't use my legs, and I sat in the hospital for months. I almost gave up hope. Fortunately, the Canadian health system, an exceptional health system, saved my life and helped set me on the path to be able to have hopes and dreams. And there's nothing more Canadian than that. For me, celebrating the 16th birthday, being able to sit up for the first time in over 2 months and be able to see the faces of my roommates, look out the window, and try to have the courage to dream of a better life. It was really, really difficult. You know, for me, it was also looking at those barriers, those stereotypes that I inherited, because I thought that the wheelchair was a symbol of disability. And I had to shift that quite quickly if I was going to get back in motion again. I realized that the chair actually was a tool for liberty and potential. Push with the left arm and move to the right. Push with the right arm, move to the left. Kick it up and do some wheelies, spin up, and even learn how to dance. All of a sudden, I realized that life could continue, and it wasn't that long after that period of time that I went back home. One of the greatest challenges, going back to my small town of Williams Lake, British Columbia, and it was the most challenging moment, coming to my family filled with stairs in my home, my school. What could I do except realize that my false view of what it took to be a whole human being at the age of 15 wasn't about my complete independence. It was about learning how to be strong and interdependent, to rely on family, friends, and community, to be able to look for role models, people who had been there before me, like Stan Strong. He is a Canadian hero that no one knows all about, like so many people in this room and communities who give everything of their lives to help others. Selfless sacrifice. A peer counselor wheeled into my life with a smile on his face. And I looked at him, "What are you smiling about?" And I realized that he made me realize it's not what you have happen to you, it's what you do with it that count, and attitude is everything. That I saw in his life hope, possibilities, meaning, purpose, inside of pain and suffering and challenge, and I thought if he could do it, so can I. He made me realize, along with others, that nowhere in the definition of an athlete does it say you have to use your legs in order to be one. That Paralympic sport existed. There was the opportunities to use a wheelchair, to be able to sit, be propelled by my arms, my heart, and go as far as I possibly could. Stan Strong was one of those amazing mentors who not just gave, but he challenged us to think about what we could do to make a difference, not just take. My thought was, okay, if I can, maybe I can help recruit. And I actually talked to somebody who actually knew a young Canadian who just lost his leg to cancer, and he was struggling. He was really struggling. But he used to play basketball. So I called him up that night, and I said, Terry Fox, do you want to come out and play wheelchair basketball? And Terry came out to our little cable cars team, and he was inspired by San. He was inspired by the other athletes who were there. and he was able to ask the question, what can I do to pay it forward? We all know what Terry did. What an incredible Canadian with a great legacy who ran across this country. Yeah. And when he finished, unfortunately wasn't able to complete at Thunder Bay, what happened? Well, Canadians happened. We picked up the ball, family, friends, community, and everyone to be able to continue to move forward for his dream, and it spread around the world, and it's absolutely changed the field of cancer research as a result of one Canadian having the courage to take that first step. Absolutely. Well, for me, I took that inspiration about facing your fears, taking the first step in your sport, becoming a Paralympian, traveling the world, realizing that I wasn't the only one facing barriers. Thousands of people around the world, barriers were physical, they were attitudinal, and they didn't have to be there. And you know, just around that time, the Canadian Constitution and Charter came home. We brought our home. You and your party brought that home here to define the new Canada that we want. And you, my friends, you said people with disabilities are equal. And those are powerful words. People fought for that. Veterans, advocates, champions fought for those words. And now there was so much work to be able to translate that into the Canadian dream. And I was asked what I could do. And so what I could do was put my athletic talents as a wheelchair marathoner and a Paralympic champion and be able to start on a world journey to show what was possible, to build awareness. If barriers were removed, people with disabilities had unlimited potential. All they needed was a chance to try. What a dream. But of course, a dream needs to become a reality, and those first steps aren't exactly easy. You can imagine those well-wishers who were thinking, he won't be here for very long, and he's going to come back, and he's not going to make it. And so we left that Oak Ridge Mall with 200 people saying, well, good luck, kid. And we wheeled out, and the team was actually trying to catch up behind me, and they hit this overheight warning bar, and they went and sent someone up to the top of that bar, and you'll see in this video, instead of turning around, they actually lifted it up, got back in the truck, and they kept going right into the overpass that bar was warning about, boxes and equipment everywhere. You can imagine the confidence of those 200 well-wishers. This guy's going around in a wheelchair. He can't even get out of the parking lot. Good luck. Oh my gosh. Mon Dieu, mon Dieu. But isn't that the way it is, right? Nothing is perfect. Nothing is perfect. When we take those first steps in the lesson of my dear friend Terry Fox and so many other Canadians, you never know how far you go. And for me, being able to go to Europe and see those iconic moments in front of the Eiffel Tower, to be in the Soviet Union at the time in Moscow, coming through Europe and into Italy and seeing the Colosseum behind me, realizing how far we had come, and then meeting the Pope at a time when I was thinking of giving up. Little did I know that he would be dealing with Parkinson's disease and still have to learn how to adjust to still lead. And in the Elbe Bridge between Jordan and Israel at a time of war where veterans who had injured themselves worked together on common values to help a Canadian fulfill a dream and try to start a momentum and a movement that would hopefully last. It wasn't always rosy, and sometimes there was a different kind of reception, like in Australia. These guys, they didn't care. or halfway, though, in Melbourne, Australia, 20,000 kilometers, pushing through that banner, realizing that I was halfway, and I'd made it that far, and now every stroke was one stroke closer to home, and if I've done it again, I can actually keep going and make it. It was inspiring. And of course, now, 40 years to this day, I then moved into Asia and into China, and I was welcomed with incredible enthusiasm. The barrier of trying to wheel up to the highest point of the Great Wall is a memento I'll never forget. No wall's too big in life that can't be climbed. No wall's too big in life, can't be climbed. I thought that picture would be the memento for me, but the real one was this one, which is my incredible team. The people who sacrificed their lives, working in the background, putting me in the front line, helping me to be able to bring this message, knowing how grateful I was. Without them, it would be impossible. And we started a movement in China. There was an incredible response at a time when people with disabilities were embarrassments and shut-ins with no rules, no rights, just having to struggle. And millions of people from Beijing to Shanghai, and I'll never forget those moments in Tianjin where the people from everywhere showed up just to say, is it possible? Could we see, is it possible that a person with a disability has ability? Well, that happened because Pierre Elliott Trudeau befriended Deng Xiaoping, and his son had a spinal cord injury, and he was saved by Canadian life-saving medical treatment, and he saw our values. Our values. Thank you to Canada. And coming home to Canada, you know, you never know when your family how they're going to respond, and I was nervous, but boy, was I ever blown away by the response. My good friend, mon bon ami, André Vigier in Quebec, a great Paralympian, and of course in Toronto at Nathan Phillips Square, in Parliament Hill, and of course up in Centre Block in Ottawa, $1 million on behalf of Canadians that were behind you through winter. And as the cold came, minus 50, it was unbelievable how Canadians came out from coast to coast to coast to say, that's who we are. We're Canadians that care. People with disabilities count. And the greatest moment for me was having moments like this, to see a young boy waiting on the side of the street in the frigid cold, waiting for me to wheel by, to be able to look up and think, and I look in his eyes on that picture and I see only hope and possibility. There's no disability. If Rick can do that, imagine what I could do. I could be a politician, I could be a business leader, I could be a teacher, I could be anything. In those last few days, when the dream and reality met, hundreds of thousands of people lining the streets, BC Place, then Oak Ridge, 2 years, 2 months, 2 days, 16 million strokes, 40,000 kilometers, raising awareness, of course, raising $26 million to be able to help remove more barriers. And I'm thinking that this is it, my contribution is over. We were there, I broke through this banner, and I looked behind me and I said, what's that sign? The end is just the beginning? What kind of a crazy marketing person put that up there? I'm done, man, I'm done. And of course, he was so correct. The end was just the beginning. The tour had a small impact. We had so far to go, so much to be done. And my life had changed. My wife and I were married, 3 daughters, 5th grandson's coming up in June, and it was the greatest joy of my life, greatest privilege. Again, thank you, Canada. Merci beaucoup. But you know, sometimes your kids, they challenge you not just to give and teach, but to learn. And I was challenged by my daughters over dinner when Rick Mercer called me up and said, hey, Rick, do you want to go bungee jumping with me? And I go, oh, I don't think so. Let me think about it. So I talked to my daughters about what Rick had said, and my daughters went, come on, Dad, you can do it. So they shamed me, and I want to share with you what happened after that.
Tell me, Rick, when you're confronted with something that is terrifying you, how do you psych yourself up to actually do it? Well, first thing you do is you go into denial. Yes, I'm there. Denial. All right. Then you go into a sense of studying what it is you're dealing with. Right. Okay, so look down. Oh, God. That looks very secure. The slip knot? Yeah. Don't be nervous until the duct tape shows up. Yeah. You got the orange rope. That's good. Safety rope. Yeah. Easy to find at the bottom of the river. You don't have any skeletal joint or ligament issues, do you? Just a spinal injury? The man in motion. Except it's down this time. 1, 2, 3.
Crazy.
Rick, how are you? Hey, I can't feel my legs. Unbelievable. Not every day you see a guy in a wheelchair dangling over the boards. Rick Hansen.
Oh, man. That was crazy. I was not happy. Still cleaning the smell out of my shorts these days. Yeah, that was scary. But you know, when you go through life, it's so easy to get complacent and not stretch out, try new things, take some risks, get nervous, push out, because we have to continue to grow. And there's an interesting balance between challenge and skill. Interesting how Canada has grown since the Man in Motion tour, where the mayor of the city of Vancouver, a quadriplegic, was able to actually go to Torino and to receive the Olympic flag on behalf of Canada, who had won the Olympic and Paralympic Games bid. And he modified his power chair and spun around and flew that flag like any big city mayor, and we didn't have to say one thing about how far this country had come in our values and our opportunities. Sam Sullivan helped us prepare for the Olympic and Paralympic Games, and that's why I was so honored to be able to bring the Olympic flame in to help start those games, to welcome billions of people around the world to our games. One class of people, one class of people. And you know, the World Health Organization says there's 1.3 billion people living with disabilities today in our world. And of course, the world is smaller and more connected. So it inspires us to think about how we can create movements where what we do here locally can truly change the world, and we don't have to wheel around the world to do it. We can connect with leaders like Christopher Reeve and all the things that he represented. Muhammad Ali, whose best work was in not the ring, but afterward dealing with Parkinson's. Or Stephen Hawking, who showed us that everything is possible with every breath if we find a way. Michael J. Fox, unbelievable. His humor, dignity, his power and determination, and his advocacy. A husband, a father, an actor. Chantal Petitclerc, what an amazing champion, a great athlete, and now a senator in our great Senate, and she shows the way. Thousands of people are doing this great work, but you know, even in spite of our progress, nearly half of our human rights lawsuits are related to disability. And that tells us we've got more work to do, because those are one-offs and it's a system thing. And people with disabilities are more than twice as likely to be able to live in poverty, to face social isolation, and to be able to think about ways to be able to do that. Now, how did we do it? How did you do it? You brought forward the Accessible Canada Act in 2019, and you actually focused on key things like transportation, communication, employment, the built environment, and it wouldn't be possible without leaders in Parliament, in Cabinet, and one particular leader I'd like to recognize is former Cabinet Minister Carla Quattro, who brought that forward. And Carla, where are you? Where are you? Stand up. There she is, right over there. Carla, thank you so much for your leadership. Carla, you've shown ability. You have a challenge with your vision. You're a lawyer. You are a parliamentarian. You are a former Paralympian who's absolutely been exceptional, and you continue to move forward every single day. The Canada Disability Benefit Act, to be able to help people who are the poorest of poor, people with disabilities, to be able to actually have that a great start that needs to be built on. And of course, 27% of Canadians have a disability. And that's expected to rise dramatically with aging boomers. We need to make sure we pave the way so boomers, people with disabilities, are actually in play. And this isn't just a charitable issue or a social justice. This is an economic imperative. Improvements in the workplace can actually help 550,000 people work more hours, those with disabilities. $316 billion of consumer spending annually ready if we make things accessible. $17.5 billion to the GDP. And of course, $4 billion of tax revenue. And let's not forget about saving the costs of removing those unintended barriers. The lost opportunity, the energy, the expense. Innovations, well, they work for everybody, don't they? You know, we don't think about it. The door lever, well, that was built for a quadriplegic, and now it's good for everybody, even my dog. What about the electric toothbrush? What about the keyboard for someone who is blind? What about audiobooks and Siri, voice technology that was built for everyone now? You know, so we are your friends, your family, your co-owners and business owners, and you're actually co-workers and your people who are constituents, taxpayers, voters. What a powerful force. And everyone, this is the only field that everyone eventually joins. And so we need to know that in spite of our progress, it's going to take all of us to pick up the pace to be there by 2040. This is the commitment of the Accessible Canada Act. We have to remove all barriers and create enabling policies. And of course, the built environment is the one thing that we build for people that's tangible. And if we break through with common standards, if we break through to drive, past minimum standards into innovation, if we actually measure, if we actually have examples like thinking about places like CN Tower or Center Block or the Cowbell Brewing Company or any of the housing opportunities, inside or outside, that actually show us that it's not expensive, it's actually easy if we figure out how to do it, to build Canada strong, but build Canada right with no barriers. And it's the most ambitious housing building objective in the history since World War II, and we can't build in barriers. So for all of us, I want to call to action, especially youth, because we need to be able to make this possible. We need to make this possible. We need to be smart. And youth, in their values of social justice and inclusivity, we need to see the issue of accessibility inside of that so they can take action. And I see this image of an accessible and inclusive group of young women. And then, of course, Emily in the wheelchair demonstrates that, right? But you look closer, someone who has a hearing challenge, someone who has low vision, someone dealing with depression and anxiety, someone with cancer, someone with diabetes. And you don't see those, but they are equally as important. But what you really see is a sorority of friends together, treating each other as equals, having fun, participating equally. And isn't that what we want? And of course, then when we spot barriers, we just remove them. We create a world where everyone can go everywhere. And my vision is to see the seamless opportunity in the future, where it's normal, it's done. And a person who's blind can be the first person to come into work, be a top performer, and turn the lights on for everybody. Or you can have that first date at a restaurant, or be in the trades, or being able to be an athlete and just an athlete, or in the playground. And of course, when I see youth, I'm always inspired by their insight, their questions. And there's one question that always comes up. Rick, if you had a choice to go back all those years ago when you were hitchhiking on the side of the road, would you decide to get in the back of the pickup truck or not? Would you give up your life for the use of your legs? What a question. Incredible. So a few years ago, I went back to the side of that road, and I just sat there, and I looked on the other side of the road where we'd crashed and where the horror of that moment happened. And of course, I was reminded of my answer in spades. In spite of that remembering of the trauma, what I remembered is all the opportunities of the life that I've lived since then. And that life was so important. The definition of life is not defined by one's legs. It's not defined by anything except your heart, your sense of belonging, love, connection, family, purpose, the ability to make a difference. I'm the luckiest guy on the planet. I would never trade my life for the use of the legs. I feel like my best work is in front, and it's because of you. Let's not give up on Canada. Thank you, everyone. Thank you. Merci beaucoup. Let's keep going. Anything is possible. Continuez. Tout est possible. Merci beaucoup.
Chers libéraux, merci pour cette excellente première journée et rendez-vous demain matin. Liberals, thank you for a great day one. We will see you tomorrow morning.